Oop. Start recording and it gets all fuzzy. Okay. What's up, guys? Zombieator here. We're gonna be talking about the new Transformers trailer. Unfortunately, I spent the last hour and a half doing that already, but I forgot to activate that, forgot to tell my recording program pick up audio on my mic. Anyway, so we're gonna go through this little bad boy. I'm gonna break down everything on screen, and then afterwards we'll talk about the cast. So we'll just get into it, and we'll theorize kind of what's gonna happen with the plot and everything. So let's get into it. So it starts pretty simple. We just have the Maximals go ahead, like, existing in the wild. We have Optimus Primal and Air Razor roaming around, and then we cut to seeing Rhinox and Cheetor. We do see Cheetor running quickly through here, jumping across and getting out. More Air Razor footage, just really sell that we have animal robots. And their Optimus Primal talks about how a darkness is coming. We see some ominous clouds. I did kind of get shocked seeing the Twin Towers, but then I was like, oh yeah, this takes place in the 90s, so they would still be there. We have Optimus transforming in the rain for some reason. He's got a bus depot, clearly. Don't know why. He talks about how everything's at stake, and he looks amazing. We have this interesting little rock, which honestly, I speculated it could be something like a weird piece of the Matrix or some shit, but I think now, looking at it, because Transformers Prime, I believe, if I remember correctly, when Unicron started showing up in that show, it was because Dark Energon was popping up, and that's what Unicron's blood is made of, and it causes various corruptions of whatever Transformer is affected by it. So maybe this is a piece of Unicron's blood, some Dark Energon. It does look like we have Elena Wallace, played by Dominique Fishback, sitting here. As we'll see later on, this was very similar to her hair and stuff, and we don't really know her story, so her being a scientist that caused this all to happen, I mean, that's a good way to put her in, I guess. Yeah, big beam goes off, we see the big laser, causes a nice little Aurora Borealis looking thing up here as Optimus bears a witness. And this is probably where he's at, this is possibly where he's at the bus depot, so maybe he's reacting to this. We see her surrounded by fire and stuff. Which I don't think this is the same scene. Clothes are different. She's not wearing, which she could have worn a lab coat over this, but it looks like she also has a backpack on right now. So, but I do think this is kind of to symbolize and set the tone that she is responsible, because the beam go up and then it instantly skin, big frizzy hair, main connect. Let's be honest. It does kind of seem like this movie's going to do better about giving us boring human characters. They kind of fixed that a little bit in Bumblebee, but that was also a little bit more down-to-earth story. Since this is going to be this is finally going to be a big Transformers movie, which we haven't had since the 5th one. So maybe so it kind of seems like they're going to learn to be a little bit more concise about character development when it comes to the humans, so it doesn't bore some of us. And then we do see Unicron, looks almost identical to his original debut look. That has several layers of teeth in the center, got a big planet snatching claws, because these claws are used to actually dig into the planet and bring it towards them. And then I don't really know what the point of this ring is, but I had it in the original, so he has it now. But really good design. I like seeing him. Definitely caught me off guard that they're doing him again, since they tried to do him in Transformers last night. But it looks like they're doing it right this time, because he's not in the planet, unless they still bring that up. This is not Earth, by the way. You can see that there is an asteroid belt on both sides of the planet, right here, and then you can see that his claw is actually breaking through it, scattering the meteor asteroid. But cool, ominous shot. This is potentially in a different galaxy. We do get a confirmed year, which I was lack of confidence in my last breakdown of what time period this took place in, and it's going to when Friends started. So Autobot logo popping up on this digital readout, being a little nice and staticky, and then Mirage essentially kidnaps him. This is Noah Diaz, played by Anthony Ramos. And I kind of like the way his character is going. Nice little charismatic character. It's a nice, but yeah. And then Mirage being like, I thought we were homies. That's like, homie, dude, you kidnapped him. Down. But he's got a good model. We see Optimus lumbering on in. It looks like he does actually have some red on here, because I think the original model that they used for the first trailer did not have any red on the hips. I'm glad to see that they're still transforming. Yeah, he gets mad that a human was brought here. And you can see Mirage kind of being embarrassed, putting his hand on, so he's like, oh, well. We see Bumblebee back here. He's probably more on the side for keeping him. But it looks like they need some CGI finish-ups still, which is fine, because it seems like the side, his like waist right here is kind of fading through, and then just along the thumb looks a little awkward. But they'll probably fix it. So here we see Battletrap flinging his little ball and chain and hooking them onto, it looks like he has two. Looks like they're little grabbers, actually. Goes ahead and hooks him onto Nightbird, which is who this car is right here, in an attempt to turn himself around so he can point at Autobots that are pursuing him. And this is probably what leads into that one shot that we saw, a more close-up angle of this. And we see what looks to be Scourge. The hand cannon looks similar. It's a big, giant, gray man. And then we have Mirage, and then I pointed this out last time, but this is Nightbird chasing, and this time we get a little bit more confirmation with these rocks falling down, flipping her over, in which she takes the opportunity to transform. And we get a good look at her, most of her robot mode, and I think it looks nice. Optimus is talking about how this isn't his fight. Honestly, with this like lighting and angle, kind of looks like he has a mustache, in my opinion, like right here. We do see that it's nighttime. We see the Twin Towers again, showing that this is in New York, and the Cybertronians are popping out of the water. And I believe in the last trailer we did see meteors come down, so these guys are, I believe, coming from space. So I'm assuming from that last trailer, because I don't think it shows it again in this, but that last trailer, it shows like 3 meteors come down, land, and these guys get up and are like, where the fuck are we? And they're gonna go do their job. And then we have Mirage. He's got some big gun out right now, wandering around the forest, and Cheetor jumps on him, so we're gonna have a classic misunderstanding between good guys so they can fight each other for a little bit, just for the fun of it, which would also explain why in the original trailer Optimus runs at Primal with his gun already drawn, because that seems kind of like against Optimus' nature a little bit. But we could be keeping a little bit of the gritty Optimus from the Michael Bay universe, especially if this is the same one from Bumblebee. I don't know, the last interaction he had with people other than Autobots was him being absolutely surrounded. Probably not in the best spirits. We have Airazor talking about how the Maximals and the Autobots need to work together if they want to overcome what's about to happen. Which, in this trailer, I don't believe we ever see her turn into a robot unless she's like in the background, so I'm still curious to see how her robot mode turns in real life. We have Elena and Noah with RC and Raj, and back here we see Stratosphere has dropped them off. He's actually supposed to be an Autobot. We'll get into him when we talk about actors, because we don't see him transform in this trailer, but we do have concept art of it. And so they seem to have landed somewhere for their mission. Got our hero shot of characters lining up, getting ready for a fight. Unicron descending upon a planet. Don't know what kind. Don't really know what this is. We see something that looks to be a similar shape later on, but it honestly kind of looks very vaguely like the Quintessons, which I honestly don't think it is. I'm just going to throw that theory out there just because they do. I mean, they did first appear in the same material that Unicron. Then we get a little jokey moment where Noah's like, how big is this guy? And Mirage says, well, he eats planets, so he's pretty big. And so here we have Scourge, presumably in Unicron, and then we have Unicron's big yellow eyes opening up. This is potentially before transforming, which, oh god, I hope we get to see what he looks like in robot mode in this. If not, I hope he lives through this. It's very interesting that they're jumping straight to Unicron. So I wonder if they're going to have, like, if they're going to try and redo the plot that they were doing with The Last Night, but this time better and to a degree in which people are actually going to want to watch it. And then we get a good look at Mirage's face. I do like his color scheme. The silver and like this shade of blues, very nice. And like, then we have Bumblebee jumping out of stratosphere into a free fall. And we see these bombs that are also that seem to be falling higher than him. Don't know who's dropping them or anything. Doesn't really look like there's going to be any human villains on this, which good. Keeps things a little more concise. Bumblebee then transforms his hands into guns and starts free firing at these bombs. We see he shoots that one and then this one. So obviously these bombs are not good things. Could be him preventing like a Terracon attack on the Maximals, but who knows. Get a nice good look at Scourge. He's got some nice Transformers 2007 Megatron teeth with all the jagged bullshit in there. Talks about how everything you love will be consumed, which is probably being literal. Peter Dinklage sounds great, by the way. Then we see Elena and Noah in Stratosphere. We have, so it's nighttime again. We have Battle Trap and Scourge. We're looking down at someone. Bumblebee jumps in for whatever reason, but we'll get to it. Scourge turns around, stabs him. This was in the last trailer. I think it seemed they draw this part out a little bit at the beginning. And then him getting shot. And then here's them running around that museum. Again, we do see some lab stuff, like some crafting tables, but some workbenches and stuff, similar to that one that we saw Elena working at when she triggered the beacon. So again, maybe they're coming here to get some of that dark energon. Maybe the Terracons need it to properly wake up Unicron or something. But obviously they're being attacked by something. We just see an explosion. We don't. But dinosaur bones in the background. And then we do have this interesting symbol opening up. We do have some symbols on here that look super vaguely like Transformers logos. Like these are kind of Decepticon in nature because they've got the triangle face and they kind of have like a pointed chin. Very vaguely look like interpretations of those logos, which it's supposed to be an old thing. So, and then she talks about how there's more than one way to defend their home. Something like that, and which could allude to the idea that maybe their first plan fails and they come up with a different one. We see a couple different characters flying through here. It's kind of hard to tell because these ones are smaller, and then this looks like potentially a ship. There's that big thing that I was talking about that was similar to earlier in the trailer. Again, doesn't really look like a Quintesson, but we have all this energon growing out of the planet, which is, I'm assuming, why Unicron is showing up in the first place, is to get some sweet, delicious Earth energon. If you watch where my mouse is, right here. Slowly come out. So he does have his earpiece. So whether or not he's going to have a mouth guard, who knows. I do like his design, aside from his fucking suspenders. Yeah, we got our hero shot. This is probably them lining up to assault the Terracon base or whatever. And Optimus saying, let them come, putting his mask on. And then we see Unicron eating a planet. Probably not Earth, because that would be a little extreme. And then we do see his big claws right here, digging into the planet like I said they would. Little center mouth opening up to go. Then, wow, look, it's nighttime. We have Optimus, what's probably Optimus Prime, definitely Bumblebee, and then the three main Terracons in the nighttime. So let's just pay attention to that. But Air Razor comes in, saved Optimus and Bumblebee, assuming by shooting at them. Elena's in some peril here, potentially has to get this to shut down whatever machine this is. We saw this fight earlier. Again, the last trailer made it seem like that this is the same moment where Battle Trap was shooting missiles out of his engine. You see that they kind of still have that inside the mouth like vocal system from the first couple Transformers movies. This is Reek, played by Tobe. Last name, I'll put it on screen. I'm not gonna try and say it. He doesn't really pop up that much, so he's probably just a supporting character, unfortunately. Which again keeps it like nice and concise to only two characters. But everyone running into battle, we have Rhinox, Cheetor, Optimus Primal, Optimus Prime, Wheeljack, and something in RC with someone on her. Because you can see right there that she's transformed and someone is on top of her. probably Noah, but it could be Elena, and we'll get to that stuff later. Optimus Prime pulls out an energy sword. Haven't seen one of those in a while. And here comes one of the bigger parts. So it was revealed a while ago that Scorponok would be in this through a toy release. And I was very curious how that was going to go. I was like, oh, because it said Predacon Scorponok. And I was like, oh, does that mean that the Predacons are going to be in this too? And they're just like keeping as a secret villain? It would appear the Predacons are just, or at least like the Predacon Scorponoks are just going to be drones. Unless there is like a hive mind situation in which there is like a big Scorponok, which there are versions of Scorponok in which he's like the size, in which he's basically like the size of Metroplex. That is just big city transformer. But yeah, and this looks like there's also another character revealed called Freezer, and he's this weird little scrappy drone thing that we get, and it kind of looks like it's going to be a bunch of Freezers and Scorponoks that are going to be this main final army that they're going to have to fight, and I think that's what this is right here, is a Freezer, just because of all the dots here. But proof that they're drones. And then, oh, we do see a human-sized character here firing a gun, shooting some Freezers, what I'm assuming is Freezers down. We saw a couple of Scorponoks up here that Primal was fighting. There's the tail of the one that he just killed. Goes monkeying around under here. There's another Scorponok, and then here's those Freezers like I was talking about. So here's a picture of Freezer himself, just so you can compare. He doesn't have a voice actor, same as Scorponok, but if you look at Freezer, he's got the 4 eyes and got the 4 arms with the weird backwards bent legs. Backwards bent leg, little spindly arms, some red eyes, red eyes, red eyes, and they're all walking all creepily and stuff. And here's another Scorponok that gets a bite taken out of him. There's another one of those spin, which maybe there could be a couple different drone types. So, and also Freezer was shown to transform into a gun, so maybe these are some bigger drones that we don't know. This one seems to be bipedal, or seems to only have 2 arms and 2 legs, and Freezer has 4 arms and 2 legs. But Freezer's toy mode turns into a gun, which is very interesting. But yeah, so it's a bunch of little goons and stuff, which Freezer turns into a gun, maybe, so this is a Freezer, and then this guy is a different drone of some sort. We got Cheetor running in, trampling or tackling down this Scorponok. We have some other drones running through. Rhinox charges through with RC upon his back, shooting shit up. And see, this is why I think that these are free. Look at all these eyes and look at all these limbs. What the hell is going on here? Again, there could just be multiple different drones, and I'm looking for the wrong here. But just like, look at this big old army of them. Can't wait to watch them tear through this shit. That was like the best part about 3 and 4 was just how many nameless drones there were to just rip through. And it looks like this is going to give us a lot of action. And there's no humans to worry about in terms of like in the immediate area. So it's like full tilt destruction. Can't wait to see it. But yeah, they seem to be all varying sizes. RC flips off of Rhinox. There's a nice little acrobatic movement to get with the Wheeljack, and we'll look at their models a little bit later, but just look how great they look. Then we get the Transformers logo, starts with an Autobot, flips to the Maximals, which is the Terracon symbol, aka Scourge's head, back to the Autobot. And then here comes an interesting part that I'm surprised it took this many movies to get to. The Mirage talks to Noah and he goes, "Hey kid, take the keys," and throws, I'm assuming, actual keys to them, all transforming him and stuff, and it starts to like nanotech around his hand. But then we see this person in power armor of some kind just going around. Like I said, we saw someone earlier with a helmet on that was riding RC into battle, and someone that was fighting alongside Optimus Primal up on a similar environment. This is actually not unprecedented, because all the way back in 1986, Transformers, the movie, the very first ever cinematic release of a Transformers thing, did feature human exosuits. It could be used as well as transform. Whether or not this one transforms will remain to be seen, because in that movie, transformation seemed a little bit like it would probably kill who was inside of it, but obviously followed that. Yeah. Then Bumblebee does a sick flip up, and it kind of makes sense that he has suits, because these guys, I'm assuming this is definitely a freeze. You have a whole bunch of limbs going on here, and he's like tiny. He's the size of his foot, so I'm assuming the freezer guys do turn into guns for the hostiles. They're probably gonna be like buzz droids or something, like overwhelmed Autobots or some shit. But since we have Noah here, who's flipping off over here, he's going to be able to use that suit. And as to whether or not Elena will end up getting one remains to be seen. But it'd be cool if they both got some. The more the merrier. It's a big arm. We'll go ahead and break characters down and show official images, because some, like I said, didn't pop up in this, and some didn't have certain modes that popped up in this. And so we'll just kind of go by actor, because of the fact that there are 2 different actors that voice 2 different people each on each side. So we'll get over that. So, Peter Cullen is voicing Optimus Prime once again. Love to see him. There's rumors that this is his last one, but there's also rumors that an Optimus X Megatron movie is coming out. It's gonna primarily focus on those 2. And if that's the case, I can't see Peter Cullen giving up on this one just to let someone else do that movie, because he's been wanting an Optimus Prime movie. So there's 2 different rumors that contradict each other, basically, and we'll see which one turns out to be true, if any of them turn out to be true. Maybe the next movie is an Ironhide movie and Optimus Prime cameos in it, and it's still Peter Cullen. Who fucking knows? I mean, they could also do what they're doing with Darth Vader and just, like, use AI to copy his voice so he doesn't have to do it, and then they still pay him for using the likeness of his voice. Bumblebee does not have a voice actor, so he's probably talking through the radio again. That's fine. I think they got it a little... I think they did pretty good with it last time compared to how it's been. They seem to be... Because I know that there were some complaints that it changes too much, so they seem to really get down just finding something that captures an emotion, not so much specific statements. Then we have Mirage voiced by Pete Davidson, obviously. That's been known for a long time. We have RC voiced by Lisa Koshy. Still don't know how to say the last name, and you think I would have figured it out, but as far as I know, she's relatively new. I think she's been in a couple things, but nothing I've even heard of. That's no shade thrown at her. I mean, Hollywood needs to get some new people at some time. Can't just keep living off of Robert Downey Jr. and Ryan Reynolds as much as we may want to. Cristo Fernandez playing Wheeljack. So that's going to be interesting. Again, another person I don't really know. Hope he does good. I'm going to have confidence in him because the movie looks good, so I'm assuming they casted well. Next, we have John DiMaggio, who is voicing both Stratosphere of the Autobots and Transit of the Terracons, both of which robot modes were not seen. Of Stratosphere's alt mode was briefly seen in a couple parts of this trailer, but we have not seen his robot mode yet. Hopefully he does transform to just come in and just fuck shit up, you know. And then Transit, like I said, wasn't shown in this. They did provide some concept art, or like some art for him, but it doesn't include what he turns into. But the fact that he has a voice means that he's probably not a drone. Still could be, I guess. But it would be interesting if he was like a Shockwave type character, just kind of waiting for the others to get the job done, like at the base, because that's what Shockwave does in the original show. Optimus Prime is going to be played by Ron Perlman, obviously. Real excited for that. Got a real nice voice, and we've already heard him talk a little bit in these trailers. Michelle Yeoh is Airraiser, which I'm really excited for that. Airraiser has yet to be shown aside from her toy in her robot mode. And so hopefully, I hope they kind of take inspiration from the fact that Michelle Yeoh knows martial arts and has been in some martial arts movies, and they give Airraiser some more martial arts fighting. And then for David Sobolov, his name kind of slightly Russian, I have a feeling, but he voices Rhinox and Battletrap, and we have yet to see Rhinox's alt mode yet. But you know, you can look at some of the old ones and assume what he looks like, because Because Cheetor looks pretty similar to his original design. Yeah, but he's voicing 2 characters as well. We've seen both versions of Battle Chap. Then we have Cheetor, who is voiced by this guy. I'm not gonna even try to say his name, just because I know I'm gonna butcher it. But he is a Zimbabwean actor. It's very interesting to see the style and character that he brings to Cheetor. Then we have Scourge played by Peter Dinklage, which I'm so glad that we heard his voice and heard how terrible all the fake shit that people were making of him was. Because people were making fake, the ending got leaked, and it just was some shitty ass edited voice that was supposed to be Peter Dinklage. And then we have Nightbird, voiced by Michaela J. Rodriguez. Hopefully I said all that right, but I'm pretty confident on that. I haven't heard of her. Hope she does a good job. We already covered the other 2 Terracons, and then of course we have the... So, I'm not going to touch on too much. There's not really a whole lot to touch on in this in terms of speculation. So what I do like about this trailer is the plot was vague enough for me to not know what's going on. Like, I can't really predict. I can predict some scenes, like I think I kind of lightly touched on. It does seem like a few scenes in this, or a few shots in this, take place over the same scene. I'm assuming it's going to show Elena activating that beacon. The Terracons come from space, which we didn't see that in this trailer, but I believe is in the last trailer we see meteors landing near New York at night. And, you know, landing near New York at night, they land in some water, then they come up out of the water. Optimus Prime and Bumblebee go to investigate. Optimus Prime gets beat up. Bumblebee tries to help. He gets beat up. And then Air if not the other Maximals as well, come to save them. And I'm assuming that's an inciting incident in which Optimus Prime and Bumblebee are like, okay, we need to go figure out what's going on here. So Optimus Prime summons the Autobots, gets the 2 humans involved that get involved on accident. They go looking for this mysterious flying creature in which I believe they go to Brazil at one point. But like I believe this is in like some of the more green areas. These are like in the forests of Brazil, including this fight, which I think the Autobots are going to go here to find the Maximals and run into the Terracons again, get into a big fight in which the Maximals are possibly going to help out. Either that or the Autobots track down the Maximals, get into a confrontation with them based off of Cheetor jumping on them. Classic, oh, we're both good guys type of situation. So I assume they're going to go there, find the Maximals, fight for a little bit, realize they're allies, and then the Terracons are going to show up, and it's going to be a whole 3-way fight type thing going on. From there, it's just going to be escalation after escalation of figuring out what the, you know, main conflict is. Yeah, I don't know. There's just not a whole lot to, like, speculate on that I didn't already say in the past one, which that one required a lot more speculation as to what was going to happen. But now that we know that Unicron's going to get involved, there's not much else to say about that. He either shows up and eats the planet or he doesn't. The steps leading to that point, they have yet to telegraph enough to us for us to make any real predictions, which I very much like. It is interesting how they're changing the lore of some characters and groups. The Terracons are actually just traditional, are actually combiners that are a part of Galvatron's generation of Decepticons, which then being led by Scourge makes sense, because Scourge was like Galvatron's second in command in the 1986 movie and TV show. But Nightbird actually, she originated as a human-made Transformer, which I'm fine with her changing her information to do that. I was kind of hoping that it would make more sense if she was introduced in the 4th movie, but Michael Bay didn't really give a shit about character decisions in that regard. But I'm excited to see what she's going to do. I think she can possibly be a lot of fun. I think that Shatter in the last movie was really good, so I like getting more female antagonists in these movies. Quintessa was not great. And then the reason I kept talking about the Quintessons potentially being in this, the reason I keep talking about the Quintessons being in this in relation to like this thing and previously is the Quintessons did show up for the first time in the same material that Unicron showed up in, so them being connected makes sense. This guy right here could potentially be Transit just because he's bigger, and it's just kind of really hard to tell what the hell is, what the hell it is. Not really a lot to go off of, in all honesty. I mean, I talked enough in the last video, which I'll link now or at the actual end or something like that, so you can go back and see what past information in regards to the lore of Transformers I have to say. But for the most part, I don't really think there's a whole lot to say, and I don't really want to ruin the surprise. I think this gave me enough for my pupils to dilate, but at the same time keeping me in the dark enough to not predict what's going to happen. And I really enjoy that, and I'm just going to kind of live with that fact. When the movie comes out, I will absolutely review it with probably a 2-hour review, because I'm probably not going to be able to shut up about it. And this is my most anticipated movie of the year. And then once this is out, it'll be Guardians of the Galaxy, and then after that, no. But yeah. So yeah, if you want to see more stuff like this, like the video, please. I do want to keep doing stuff like this. It just takes a lot of time to do breakdowns or anything that's me sitting here and discussing a topic, which I do want to discuss topics in relation to film. Which I do want to discuss topics in relation to film more. I have a couple of ideas that are related to the overall pop culture and general discussion of films nowadays that I kind of want to talk about. So if you want to see those, like, leave likes and share the video so that I can get more views and know that people are going to watch this. Yeah, let me know what your favorite Transformer design in this movie was, or either tell me your favorite Transformer design that's going to be in this movie, or tell me your favorite scene from the trailer that you're most excited to see play out in full. But yeah, thank you guys for watching, and hopefully I see you guys soon. Bye.